Turn that down a sec. Yeah. All right. Fuck it. Let's go. Fire up. What's up? Um, where the fuck my phone at? I gotta watch that chat. So yeah, I totally started up a shop with my art. Fucking mute that shit. Check that later. Um, so yeah, my art shop. Oh no, I'm being nervous. A little weird. Oh well. Um, fuck it, just cut straight to the chase. I know. World sucks. It's fucking cold. That is what it is, you know? God, I feel fucking awkward. So, I get it. I do. There's millions of people out there. Like, a crap ton. And everybody fucking suffers something, you know? Um, this is shit that nobody ever really wants to talk about, right? Because everybody fucking suffers, but nobody ever fucking wants to listen. No one wants to ever fucking just accept anybody for who they are and their flaws and their insecurities. And hell no, I'm not a professional about this shit. So, yeah. Uh, but it's just so fucking real. So real. I don't know what would be more real than the darkness we live in, the pain we tolerate, the fucking shit, I'll say it, the fucking suicidal thoughts we have. We all fucking just living, right? I think this one's probably one of my favorites, actually. It's light and dark. This world feels so shallow, so superficial. And it's so weird because obviously I'm a millennial, like the rest of them. 90s kid, you know. And it's so weird because we're like this transitional generation of what was and what is, and it makes it hard sometimes, you know, to wanna try with people and connect, you know, because we're like this damn bridge between just living the moment and putting in the effort and the work and the shit to have something meaningful or have something real, and then we got this whole other world of technology where everybody's all about this validation and shit where they have to be seen, you know? And it sucks. It does. I feel like I'm always going against myself, fucking putting myself out there, fucking doing these videos, fucking putting the shop out there, you know? I don't like the spotlight like that. I really don't. But on the other hand, the world needs a little love, a little acceptance, a little, you're not alone, and feeling like nothing's right, nothing's okay. The world just fucks you over. The fucking people fuck you over, you know? Doesn't change anything, it doesn't fix anything, but it's something. Why don't anybody ever want to talk about it? And then it's so weird when I go about, I got my different groups, you know, my social groups, but it's weird when you try and talk to somebody about feeling that kind of way and they don't get it, and it's like you're talking to a wall or something, you know, uh, like like you're talking to air. Cause they don't know what it's like, so they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, and then they always ask you, well, what do you want me to say, or what do you want me to do about it? It's like, and then you like want to shut down and not want to talk about it because you don't want to have to tell them, you know, you don't want to have to tell them. You want them to like think for themselves and oh well, just get feedback, you know, bounce back, bounce off vibe. And it's so weird when talking to the shallow that don't know how to vibe and bounce off each other, and then they turn around and tell you just go with the flow. But what if you don't want to go with their flow, or what if you don't want to be like them, or whatever, you know? Sometimes the world just feels so crushing on the soul. And I like I like doing what I do. I do because it's like I can bleed what I feel into it, good, bad, whatever. I don't have to know what I'm feeling to draw something. And then I thought about it, and it's like, well, what about everybody else that's like me? What about the ones that don't have an outlet to transform darkness into light, or doesn't have somebody to talk to, or just teetering the edge, you know? What about them? So why not try and reach out to the world in a way that isn't so direct, you know, but still meaningful enough. I mean, shit, I honestly wouldn't even know if this would even matter to anybody of the message being that you're not alone in the darkness and depression and suicidals and any of it. You don't have to feel alone because, in a sense, you could have like a piece of me and mine through my art, so you wouldn't have to feel like that. But is anybody really gonna get that? Is that gonna matter enough? Is that gonna be enough? I don't fucking know. I'm just throwing my shit out there. I don't think people ever really get it unless they do it, you know? I don't think I'm necessarily the only one out there, but I feel like it's a rare thing to not fake it or whatever. It's draining. It is. To be the type that puts everything into everything and everyone and like just literally just put your heart and soul into every little fucking thing you do and every fucking person you try and connect with. Like and yeah, it fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks ass because it's like they don't get it and then it feels like you put too much in and then get even really anything back for it, but then you just care too much. So you just say fuck it and deal with how you feel about it alone because the ones that get it, you know, you know. And the ones that don't get it, you know. It's so weird how that works. How the ones that stick around don't, and the ones that do don't always stick around because they're always drowning, you know? I thought it was so cool when I figured this out. I mean, yeah, I started with posters and canvases, but I thought it was like so cool. Look, I can put it on a damn fucking blanket and feel like if someone really wanted it and got it, then it'd be like I sent someone enough love for them to feel comforted in their time of need without ever knowing them. And that's like an insane concept of channeling my own energy into something positive out of something so depressing. Honestly, I don't know how the fuck I decided I was gonna do this video tonight. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then I did, and it's like I started just thinking and thinking all this fucking shit, and it's like, fuck it, I'm thinking it, I'm feeling it, let's fucking do it. And here the fuck I am making a fucking complete ass out of myself about something so fucking serious, but so so lost to the world, to the people of it's like it always just falls on deaf ears. Like Like what should matter doesn't fucking matter most of the time to people. I don't know. This feels more like a fucking a proposition, but it is what it is. Too much emotion and everything, anyways. I want to change that now. I even did one of my username. Maybe, maybe I should do another one, and it says something like bleed with me or you're not alone. Another graffiti one, or transform darkness into light. And it's so kind of weird, even like what some of my art turns out to be. Like most of this down here is just digital. Sorry, digital shit that I did over the years. But then I do fucking like intense shit like this. That's so detailed. I don't know what my thing is with eyes, but for some reason I like to draw them. Maybe because in a way it's like the world's always watching, waiting for us to fall, but they're always looking away when we do, or shitting on us for it. It's like being seen without being seen. Like everyone just wants to see through you, but not see you for you, which is kind of fucked up in its own right, you know? And I could totally put it on like other products or what not. That one has a face over here, with like a Pinocchio nose or something, and there's like another face over there. I think this is just something I always enjoyed doing for an outlet. Besides my music, I love listening to my music. It's comforting. Um, but I also like playing my games. And then I just decided one day that I like doing it, but I don't really like talking to people too much. So just start streaming and see where it goes. And I've had so many ups and downs over the years. I've been doing these streams, and I'm still struggling here with just trying to fucking make something consistent enough for it. Because life is shit. Life is shit. We love too much. We care too much. Who we don't care enough. We don't love enough. We give too much. We don't give enough. People come, people go, and then most of the time they only come around when they fucking want something, and then they fucking gone again. And then you gotta be selective in which ones you gotta keep letting come back, and why you keep giving, why you keep caring, you know? You gotta be selective. What is it that their energy, their vibe means to you? What kind of pat or fucking experience that impacted your life enough to fucking want to keep trying with them or wanting to keep them around at all? You know, it's so sad that we have come to a world that depends so much on a social standing through technology and what isn't really real versus something meaningful, and just valuing each other's existence at all. And instead of shitting on somebody for a stupid post or a stupid joke or something they're wearing or body shaming or racism or fucking whatever. Like all this fucking hate shit, all this fucking and I don't know. I'm aware I can't change the world. I can't save the world. You can't save what's drowning or doesn't know it's drowning, and you can't save those that don't want to learn how to self love and heal and want to fucking let go of their trauma and their scars and their demons and all this shit. But the thing is that the people's scars and their demons and their insecurities is what makes them so damn beautiful, because it's a part of them, but it doesn't define them. It's just a piece of them. It it's not exactly who they are. It's what shapes them into who they are, and then they either become these really nice people that's just holding on to funky shit that doesn't define them, and or they become into these monsters because they don't know what to do with it, because they succumb to what people label them and call them, and then they turn into exactly that. And or then there's the ones that fucking drown so much that they turn to anything to escape from it. And it's like all we ever do is pick our poison for how it is that we want to die, because nobody ever fucking teaches anybody how to fucking actually deal with anything. It's always a fucking hit or miss of, does it matter? Does it not matter? And then you have these foundations and shit for like suicides and victims' families of homicides and mysterious deaths and all this fucking shit. But it's kind of like that stupid commercial. And it's not really stupid per se. It's just it's the kind of commercial you either feel heartbroken watching, or you feel like you just don't care. Like you've seen it one too many times, but it's still there. Kind of shit. The fucking commercials about the poor animals, and the Concrete Angel song or whatever they always play. I don't know if that is actually even a thing in other countries. Fucking America. And if you're watching from another country and you feel this way, you're not alone either. Emotions is what impacts our humanity, and it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't. You're still human. You still fail. You still bleed. Doesn't matter if it's emotional bleeding, if it's just draining your energy, if it's actually cutting, if it's abusing yourself mentally and emotionally, or choosing abusive relationships, or choosing crap like drugs and alcohol. I don't know. I'm only one person that probably cares too much about shit that's too big. How do you change a world that doesn't want to learn how to change within first? How do you change a world? How do you save lives that don't want to be saved? How do you heal someone that doesn't want to heal within? I don't know. To love so deeply for just the purest things of just someone existing and what makes them them, and then it still feel like it's not enough because they don't understand. How do you explain that? I think my biggest downside or weakness is probably that I tend to break for everyone else or cry for everyone else before I do for myself because I care too much. And it sucks. But how do you change your own nature? How do you change the core of your essence to care so much about everyone else's eggshells and how I affect someone else? I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. I'm sure people would say, just stop caring. It's not that simple. Well, sure, I can put my feelings aside where I don't really feel them as much, but still in a neutral state where I'm not numb but I'm not overwhelmed. It seems better that way. Or where I just go numb entirely so I don't feel anything while taking it, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know. How do you get shallow people to understand something so meaningful and deep, something so important? I always thought a little kindness would save a life, a little acknowledgement, a little acceptance, even just the tiniest um, compliment or just something for someone to feel seen. But then after COVID, it made it so much harder. It made it scarier to want to hug strangers or to just go up to them and tell them that you just like something about them and not even know them like I used to. I don't know. I feel like the world's just getting colder. Everyone's turning more into hermits, looking out for themselves and caring less about how they affect anyone else. One look, one word, one body language, one tone. And I don't think anyone ever thinks about how that can save someone or push them over the teetering edge. One touch, one hug, one acknowledgement, one acceptance of someone like, I see you and I accept you, or I acknowledge your existence. I acknowledge that you're here. Yeah, I don't. I don't know if that's enough anymore. I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't really know anything anymore. But hey, like the art or whatever. Want to support it? That's cool. Not really sure what I'm doing. I'm just here, like everyone else. I don't think there's really anything else that we can be. We're just here. And hope that someone sees us or accepts us or whatever. Everyone wants to feel heard. Everyone wants to feel accepted. Everyone wants to feel loved. Everyone wants to feel all this shit, but not everybody wants to put themselves out there for it. Not everybody wants to make the first move. Not everyone wants to care. It was already scary enough what lurks in the dark. The monsters that lurk out there in the night. You don't know the kind of people unless you know. You just kind of have to have lived it to know. Gone those kind of places. You know? You know, you know. I don't think anybody ever really understands any of these kind of things until they start experiencing them. They don't want to take away the light or child's play or innocence of those that haven't experienced these kind of things, you know? Well, I didn't really plan for this one to be too long, anyways. But I just shake it off and then play something. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. As deep and heavy as this feels, or is, I'm not really sure how I feel at the moment. I'm not really lonely. Maybe sad. It's a sad thing to talk about. When people forget that everybody feels something, that everybody needs a little touch, a little acknowledgement, a little affection, and just be a comforting squeeze of a hand or a hug. But everybody's human. Everybody needs a little bit of something. And the saddest part is probably the difference of those that just a little goes a long way and those that nothing's ever enough for because they just don't get it. It sucks. And that I'm at a loss because no matter what, I'm only one person in a huge world with a huge problem that I can't fix because it's internal. It's an internal factor that starts with one person and just hope that it's enough to inspire someone else to want to heal and change and grow and learn and transform and evolve on their own because we're never too old to learn something new. We're never too old to evolve or find new things about ourselves or to um to want to be better, to want to do better, to want to chase and compare ourselves to our highest selves to integrate what was and adapt the things we need for what and who we want to be, to protect our own energy, but still leave room to give and grow. And it's sad to watch even people and how they either grow apart or they grow together, but they never really know. Because everybody's so terrified of getting hurt so damn much they can't even talk about it. Or they're terrified of hurting someone else so much that they're terrified of talking about it. Everyone's so scared of fucking losing shit that they already lost. And then what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if the fucking electronic magnetic field fucking bomb goes off and there goes all technology? And then what? It's gonna be, instead of just an internal war with ourselves and the expectations and perceptions of everything outside our introspects to back to the basics of survival. And then what? There's always nice people out there. The ones that care too much or just enough. But there's always the monsters, the killers, the rapists, the ones that will kidnap and harm children. They've existed long before we had names for them. And it's not a just this era or this culture. I truly think that that's just something that's always existed in even the ancient ones. Shit, some cultures sacrificed kids. How are we really any different now? Just because we don't do a human sacrifice for some fucking god. How are we really any different when we turn our backs on some kid that doesn't understand how to self-express and cope and channel, that doesn't understand why all the other ones don't want to play with them and why the good adults look at them a certain way. And it's really not any better than being an adult, really, because it's even worse. It really is. Because we either learn to only care of ourselves or to stay broken. And then what do we teach the next generation? Or even the alpha and betas? And it's so weird to think about because the silent gen is pretty much already gone. The generation from the Great Depression. And how they used to tell us stories of wars and how they managed to survive an economy crash. An entire economy, financial crash. And who's to say we're not heading towards another one? Who says we're not heading towards something worse? So what do we do? Do we turn a blind eye and act like everything's fine? Like it's not our problem, but it is. Like it's not our problem, but it just affects us. Isn't that the same thing of in somebody else's emotions? To be reached out to and then turn your back on them like you're aware of it, but it's like, oh no, your problem's not my problem, but it affects me that you reached out to me kind of fucking bullshit. Like that's just complete bullshit. Like, oh, there ain't nothing you can do for me or give me, so I ain't gonna help you fucking bullshit, you know? It's bullshit. It is. It just is. Why wouldn't another existence matter as much as your own? Why wouldn't someone else's pain matter as much? Their happiness, their tears, their laughter, their smiles, their voice, their ups, their downs, their affairs, their angers, their insecurities, their scars. Why wouldn't it matter as much as your own? I don't know. It didn't make the world as cold as it is, but I probably didn't help as much as I should have because I probably didn't know how. And everybody just does the best they can just to fucking stay above water inside themselves. At least the ones that suffer like this. The ones that want to die, the ones that break a million times because nothing ever feels enough for anyone. Because all they want is to feel accepted and like they belong somewhere. And then what about the ones that be reaching out, who've been trying to make someone else feel that way, and it doesn't feel like it's enough because it just they don't understand. I guess I don't know. I guess just 'cause they just don't feel it. What do you do when you can't reach someone, when you can't get through? How do you handle that? There isn't a manual to emotions and how to connect, but then they fucking give us all this structural bullshit of guidelines of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in society, but everything about it just turns everyone against each other and tears us apart from the inside. So what do we do? How do we change that? How do we learn to get through to people for them to feel like their existence alone is enough? How do we teach someone to let something good in when everything hurts? How do we teach someone that their traumas ain't what defines them? That their mistakes and lost relationships or whatever scarred them isn't what defines them? How? How do we make everyone else see that they're enough? That it's okay to hurt? How do we How do we learn how to be what we need for ourselves before we can be what everyone else needs or enough for ourselves? What if the self help books and meditations isn't enough? What if we're addicted to the pain? How do you stop that? How do you change that? How do you make the surreal concepts, the concepts of contentment and happiness and joy or love that feels so blissful or illusional feel real? How do you make anything good feel real? I don't know. I don't know how. It's not hard to feel inspired, and it's not hard to transform pain into beauty. But how do I do it in a way for everyone else to understand it? How do I make it enough for everyone else to feel it? And it's so strange because the most famous people that changed the world suffered so much. Mostly because their views were so different from the era they lived in. Beethoven was deaf, but he made beautiful music. Ringo, he cut off his ear. and suffered mental illnesses they probably didn't even have names for yet. But he made masterpieces that live on today. And honestly, I wouldn't doubt that my art wouldn't mean anything until I die. So that's how it seems to work. You suffer and you transform it into something beautiful, and the world you're in doesn't understand it, so they can't accept it, and then later generations eventually figure out a concept within their own personas or perspectives or whatever, and then deem it masterpieces. It sucks. I think, I feel like I already said too much and not enough. Seems to be all the time. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm gonna go now.